Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips the balance in favor of fair use. Noisy investigation. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, like the LAPD or Denver PD, Chi-Town PD, noisy investigation is one of the practices that Scientology, so-called church, practices. It's in their policies. So they actually have illegalities and crimes by United States codes, USC codes, that are against the law, written right into their quotations religion, which of course L. Ron Hubbard said the best way to make money is to start a religion. I guess you guys like a little piece of that pie too sometimes. Just saying. Noisy investigation. Noisy investigations are used by the Church of Scientology, to intimidate, harass, what you guys know about it, LAPD, and attack those they see as their enemies. The purpose of a noisy investigation isn't to discover anything particular about the targeted individual. Targeted individual. The procedure is to contact friends. Check it out, LAPD. Contact neighbors, co-workers, and anyone connected with the target, and tell those contacts that they are investigating crimes by the targeted person. The Church of Scientology usually hires private investigators. LAPD. Are you guys some of the private investigators that Scientology hires? Because that would be deemed as unbiased. It would also be deemed as conflict of interest. And if there's anything questionable going on, dereliction of duty, duty. Hires private investigators to perform noisy investigations. OSA. OSA's where Mike Rinder used to work. In fact, Mike Rinder was head of OSA. Can you imagine, you guys? Crazy. Has carried on many of the same undercover operations. Maybe that's why Rinder didn't want to talk to the cops. I don't know. Weird, very weird behavior. Though now often farming them out. That's a great way to look at it. To independent private investigators. Now, I've done a lot of research, you guys. This is public knowledge. A lot of the PIs that were and are hired by Scientology are either retired Los Angeles police officers doing extra work. Well, that one I'd have to look into. That one I got to look into, so don't quote me. Also, a lot of the private investigators that Scientology hires are disgraced LAPD officers. How crazy is that? I thought police officers were supposed to be lawful. Could somebody explain? I'm confused, you guys. Must be losing all this hair. out to independent private investigators who cannot be linked directly back to the Church of Scientology. Who cannot be linked directly back to the Church of Scientology. Does that mean that the PIs could not be considered co-conspirators? 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 Private detectives have simply replaced church members as agents of intimidation. The detectives are especially valued because they insulate the church from deceptive and potentially embarrassing investigative tactics that the church, in fact, endorses. Quotation from Hugh Urban in The Church of Scientology, A History of a New Religion. Now, I want to interject here. Let's not forget LAPD, Denver PD, Chi-Town PD, Baltimore. Well, not Baltimore. What's that other one? Is it Baltimore? Oh, what's the other city, you guys, I'm thinking of? Where Cubstown is from? That's on the East Coast. Anyways, all these PDs. I have a question. I want to know if it's lawful, because I'm really, I got red hair and, when I have it, and sometimes, I didn't do very well in algebra. Is it lawful to tell a young child, most specifically for general purposes, a young Scientologist child who has no free will, is it lawful when that little girl or that little boy has been ANRAP, or if the little girl has been RAP, you know what? Is it lawful to not report the crime, number one? Is it lawful to take the perpetrator of the crime, whom offended the child? Is it lawful for Scientology, many documented cases, for the Scientologists within the organization of Scientology, is it lawful for them, whomever is involved, aiding and abetting, which it seems like it's aiding and abetting, is it lawful for them, him or her, them, to hide the perpetrator of the crime within the confines of their multi-billion-dollar corporation? Is that legal? Is that lawful for them to do that? In addition, my second part of the question is, LAPD, Denver PD, Chi-Town PD, Clearwater PD, and all the rest of you PDs that are closely associated, biasedly rather, with Scientology, is it legal for the people within, or they call them parishioners, in Scientology, is it legal, is it lawful for them, people who have listened to the children who have been all the above that I just talked about, the R word, is it legal for these people, these parishioners of Scientology, to blame the child for the offenses, which are, I've looked it up numerous times. Apparently, R-ing children is illegal within the United States. In most states. I mean, as far as I know, all states, it's illegal. It's not permissible in any shape or form. It's not lawful. I want to know, when the child is further punished, if that's legal. Is that lawful for the parishioners in Scientology to deny the child filing a police report, which I think hiding crimes is illegal. I think when a child has been sexually violated by a full-grown adult that's usually 3 times the size of the child, and that action is hidden, I'm pretty sure that is a crime. It's called, what is it called? Hold on, I got to look it up. Okay, I looked it up just to make sure that I wasn't hallucinating. That is failure to report. I just wanted to clear it up. And LAPD, Clearwater PD, Department of Justice, Homeland Security, Immigration and Naturalization Services, California governors, California politicians, to whom it may concern. Would it further be another crime when that child is punished for being essayed by a grown man or woman? Is it a further crime to put that child in a child prison, which in Scientology is referred to Rehabilitation Project Force? Essentially, it is a prison for children. Anyone in Scientology will deny that this exists. I assure you that it exists. So according to my compilations here, that is approximately 4 crimes that I just deduced. And I'm just an ordinary public citizen. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish reading this. In 1966, L. Ron Hubbard wrote a policy titled How to Do a Noisy Investigation, explaining the procedure. You find out where he or she works or worked. Doctor, dentist, friends, neighbors, anyone. And phone them up and say, I am investigating Mr. Mrs. Blank for criminal activities as he or she has been trying to prevent man's freedom and is restricting my religious freedom. Oh, they love that, don't they? And that of my friends and children. LAPD, isn't that threats and intimidation? I thought that was illegal as well. Huh. I said I didn't do all that great in algebra. That wasn't my... Sometimes I can't put 2 and 2 together. A memo reprinted in the British paper People said, we want at least 1 bad mark on every psychiatrist in England. A murder, an assault, or an RAPE, or more than 1. This is Project Psychiatry. We will remove them. Sounds like a threat, doesn't it? The Church of Scientology used to openly label their enemies as fair game. Though Scientologists claim that the policy of fair game is no longer in effect, critics of the church, and why we got to be critics? You can't even ask a question and you're a critic? Please. Maintain that fair game is still practiced today. Detractors of Scientology have claimed that the cancellation of the policy only canceled the use of the words fair game, but did not change the actual practice. How's that for gaslighting, you guys? Ooh, I might have to check some of this stuff out. You know, I may make another video. I'm going to make some more videos, you guys. So that's it for this one. I will make sure to leave the link in the description box. Like and subscribe if you choose. Otherwise, have an amazing day or night, wherever you are. Peace.